I'm Steve Beren. I'm a Seattle-based conservative activist, and I believe in the Constitution, and I ran for Congress in 2008 here against Jim McDermott, and I've been actively involved in the Tea Party movement, and I think we've got a great thing going. We've got to speak out against the Obama economic agenda.
Mr. Beren, thank you so much for being here today and to interview with us with Campaign for Liberty. I had just a few questions I'm going to ask you. I hope you can hear me over this noise.
Yeah, I can.
It feels good to stand together physically with other citizens and protest the current taxation. But what should citizen activists do to lessen their taxation burden?
Well, ultimately, I believe in a political movement, and I think protests and rallies are an adjunct to political activity. So I'm a firm believer in these kinds of movements, and I think we should run pro-liberty conservative candidates for every office in the state of Washington. And I think such candidates should support this kind of movement. The Democrats, most of them, they voted for the taxation and for the stimulus. Many Republicans voted against it. I'd like to see more Republicans supporting this type of movement.
Very good. It's been said that as soon as the people realize that they can vote themselves a piece of the redistribution pie, they do so. Do you see a way to break the cycle?
Yes, and in fact, I do not agree with that tipping point argument. I used to be a socialist in the 1960s and 1970s when I was a young man, when I was a college student. I was a socialist. And, you know, the socialists pretend, and Obama pretends that his policies will actually benefit the majority of people. We should not fall for that. It isn't true that when the majority of people are receiving government bailouts and government handouts that they're going to benefit. Look at North Korea, look at Cuba. Actually, socialism harms people, and the reality of it is already starting to sink in. Many people who voted for Obama are already realizing that he lied and that his programs are going to harm the economy. Unemployment, inflation, it's a disaster. So I think socialism harms people, and therefore, if we have socialist policies in the United States, it won't lead to socialists being reelected. It'll lead to people revolting against socialism. But I don't think we're going to get there. 2010 will stop him in his tracks.
Do you believe that the income tax is a moral tax?
Well, you know, it is part of the Constitution now because of an amendment. My own opinion is that for most of American history, we went along fine without it. But at any rate, it's astronomically way out of proportion. So at the very least, it's 8 or 10 times more than it should be. It should be only a minimal amount necessary for national defense, border security, and administration of government. The majority of cabinet departments should not even really be existing. We have a long way to go. Right now, we need to stop the growth of government, elect a better Congress, elect a better president, and then we can begin reversing what has been done over the century.
Great. Well, again, I really thank you for joining us today to do this interview with Campaign for Liberty, Mr. Beren, and I truly hope that you run for Congress again and help bring our taxes down and limit our government to its constitutional limitations.
And I'm glad that the Campaign for Liberty and Republicans and independents and even some disaffected Democrats and people of all different points of view have joined in a coalition today. That is very powerful when people that may not agree on other things agree. No bailouts, no stimulus, no increased spending. You know, it's not just the money, it's the destruction of liberty. That is something we're all united.
Absolutely.
So, I'm glad that Campaign for Liberty is part of this coalition.
Thank you. Very nice to meet you and see you again.
All right.